video. I'm Recklezz. Got another video, you feel me, that was requested, commented, you feel me. Why did the Democratic South become Republican? Definitely ready to get in this reaction. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get in the video.
Once upon a time, every student of history, and that meant pretty much everyone with a high school education, knew this. The Democratic Party was the party of slavery and Jim Crow, and the Republican Party was the party of emancipation and racial integration. Democrats were the Confederacy, and Republicans were the Union. Jim Crow Democrats were dominant in the South, and socially tolerant Republicans were dominant in the North. But then, in the 1960s and 70s, everything supposedly flipped. Suddenly, the Republicans became the racists, and the Democrats became the champions of civil rights. Fabricated by left-leaning academic elites and journalists, the story went like this. Republicans couldn't win a national election by appealing to the better nature of the country. They could only win by appealing to the worst. Attributed to Richard Nixon, the media's all-purpose bad guy, this came to be known as the Southern Strategy. It was very simple. Win elections by winning the South. And to win the South, appeal to racists. So the Republicans, the party of Lincoln, were to now be labeled the party of rednecks. But this story of the two parties switching identities is a myth. In fact, it's three myths wrapped into one false narrative. Let's take a brief look at each myth in turn. Myth number one, in order to be competitive in the South, Republicans started to pander to white racists in the 1960s. Fact, Republicans actually became competitive in the South as early as 1928 when Republican Herbert Hoover won over 47% of the South's popular vote against Democrat Al Smith. In 1952, Republican President Dwight Eisenhower won the southern states of Tennessee, Florida, and Virginia. And in 1956, he picked up Louisiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia too. And that was after he supported the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board of Education that desegregated public schools, and after he sent the 101st Airborne to Little Rock Central High School to enforce integration. Myth number two, Southern Democrats, angry with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, switched parties. Fact, of the 21 Democratic senators who opposed the Civil Rights Act, just one became a Republican. The other 20 continued to be elected as Democrats or were replaced by other Democrats. On average, those 20 seats didn't go Republican for another 2.5 decades. Myth number three, since the implementation of the Southern Strategy.
This is a lot and that's why it's real important to me to know these things. I feel like it's important for a lot of people to know these things. I didn't react to PragerU before. I think this is the third or fourth time reacting to PragerU. And people can be so mean, and it seems like, you know what I'm saying, like these are
average
facts,
those
and it's
20
real, so
seats didn't go Republican for another 2.5 decades. Myth number three, since the implementation of the Southern Strategy, the Republicans have dominated the South. Fact, Richard Nixon, the man who is often credited with creating the Southern Strategy, lost the Deep South in 1968. In contrast, Democrat Jimmy Carter nearly swept the region in 1976, 12 years after the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And in 1992, over 28 years later, Democrat Bill Clinton won Georgia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and West Virginia. The truth is, Republicans didn't hold a majority of Southern congressional seats until 1994, 30 years after the Civil Rights Act. As Kevin Williamson of National Review writes, if Southern rednecks ditched the Democrats because of a civil rights law passed in 1964, it is strange that they waited until the late 1980s and early 1990s to do so. They say things move slower in the South, but not that slow. So what really happened? Why does the South now vote overwhelmingly Republican? Because the South itself has changed. Its values have changed. The racism that once defined it doesn't anymore. Its values today are conservative ones, pro-life, pro-gun, and pro-small government. And here's the proof. Southern whites are far more likely to vote for a black conservative like Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina than a white liberal. In short, history has moved on. Like other regions of the country, the South votes values, not skin color. The myth of the Southern...
I feel like that's important regardless. I feel like this
South votes values, not skin color.
vote value, not skin color. I feel like that's really deep. Honestly, I definitely feel like that's deep. Like I said and stated in the last videos, I feel like a lot of people vote based off of it's the skin color thing. It's the skin color rather than it being why is this actually benefiting you? If you're actually doing your research, is this really like I feel like that's what's important. I have not yet came across. I want to say not one. I haven't seen any in the comments. I haven't seen any comment. Hopefully, I see one today on other videos or this video in particular of a Democrat saying that they're a Democrat and actually rocking with me and showing me other videos and showing me this and showing me that. I haven't seen not one that's actually being cool or just letting me know there's this video, or I want to know how is it how is it benefiting you. I've seen a lot about Republicans, but it seems like most of the Democrats that actually and they stated that they're Democrat. I'll even show you, if they don't believe me, I'll show a DM that somebody actually said, yeah, I'm a Democrat and I don't see why you're doing these videos and I'm unsubscribing and just talking crazy instead of telling me, okay, well, this is why I'm a Democrat, to let me know because I'm learning, I'm independent, I'm learning, instead of going that route. I feel like that's something that I would want to see of you going in a route that's like, okay, well, let me show this young dude, okay, why or just let me show him this video. I haven't got that, and I feel like that's what's messed up. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time that I done lost subscribers, and I'm sure it's not gonna be the last time.
The myth of the Southern strategy is just the Democrats' excuse for losing the South, and yet another way to smear Republicans with the label racist. Don't buy it. I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager University.
Yeah, I feel like I enjoyed that video. I definitely enjoyed that video. If there's other videos y'all want to check out, make sure y'all comment down below. Let it be known. Definitely let it be known. If it is, anybody else that's want to comment, I don't care what I'm saying, what you believe in, what you like, who you vote for. I don't care. It's more important of getting these videos out and having me learn. And I actually seen a lot of comments of people actually learning with me, and I definitely appreciate that. For the people that's done that, definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. You feel me? Catch y'all next one.